Every NPC in your campaign sounds the same, and you know it. Hey, I'm Terry Jikimak from Roll for Perception. I've created over 100 NPCs across multiple campaigns, and the ones my players still talk about took me less time to prep than a random encounter. Today, I'm walking you through what I call the 5 seeds method. 5 questions, 1 sentence each, to build NPCs that your players will actually remember. And stick around to the end, and I'm going to be giving away a fillable PDF template I actually use at my table, so you can start building your own. Now, let's get into it. Look, some NPC creation methods have you writing full backstories before your players ever meet them. 2 pages of history, a personality trait, a flaw, a bond. I've done it 100 times. And then your players ask the bartender where the bathroom is, and they're gone. You just spent 2 hours on a backstory and a character that your players are never going to see again. This character lasted, 30 seconds? We've all had that. We've all felt that. The 5 seeds that I use work a bit differently. You answer 5 questions with 1 sentence each, and you're done. 5 sentences, and you have an NPC ready to grow through playing the game, rather than trying to build up this monument of a character before they're ever introduced to the players. The first seed is wants. What does this NPC want right now? And we're not talking about like their life dreams, their destiny, their goal, just what they're actively trying to get. Maybe it's a promotion or a way out of debt or getting their kid into a better school. 1 sentence covers it, their want. The second seed is problems. What's standing in their way or making their life harder? This is where conflict lives, and conflict is what makes players care. Their brother is running with bandits, or their shop is about to go under. These are the things that our players can kind of latch onto, and they want to help the character in some way. The third seed is knows. What information does the NPC have that could be useful to the players or to the story? It could be things like patrol routes, local rumors, who's been sneaking around at night, any little bit of tidbit of information. The 4th seed is owns. What do they physically have that matters? An heirloom map, a key to somewhere they shouldn't have access, a letter they haven't opened. It's an item, something. It could be unimportant to anyone, or it could be a relic that changes the story completely. This gives the players something tangible to interact with. The 5th seed is secrets. What are they hiding? This is the one that does the most work because a secret creates tension. The moment it exists, even if the players never find out about it, you as the DM in the back of your mind are constantly thinking about these secrets and what it means to this NPC. 5 seeds, 5 sentences, and you can build an NPC in under 5 minutes. And this NPC is going to have more play potential than a 2-page backstory ever will. So, let's put this into practice. I'm going to walk you through building an NPC using the 5 seeds method so you can see how it actually works. Now, full disclosure, I've already put some thought into this character ahead of time, so this isn't completely off the cuff, but that's kind of the point. Even with some thinking done already, watch how fast we can create this character and how the actual creation goes. Let's say I need a town guard for my next session. We'll call her Clarissa. Wants? She wants promotion to sergeant. That's it. That's her drive. 1 sentence. We know what she's going after. There it is. Problems. Her brother has gotten himself involved with a local bandit group. Now she's got a personal conflict that could bleed into anything the players are doing in town and is affecting her as she attempts to get that promotion. Knows. She knows the forest patrol routes, which means she has information the players might need and a reason for them to actually talk to her. Owns. She has an heirloom map passed down from her father. Maybe it's relevant to the story, maybe it isn't, but it's something real that connects her to the world and could be something that the players may want at some point in the future. Secrets. She's been letting refugees through the gates illegally. That one sentence just created a moral dilemma, a potential plot hook, and a reason for the players to either protect her or use it against her. And it gives you a way to play her to the characters. Even with the thinking I'd already done, filling in those 5 seeds took minutes. And Clarissa already has more going on than most NPCs with a full backstory page. Every one of those seeds can grow into something if the players engage with it. And if they don't, you spent minutes instead of hours, and you can have a whole series of these NPCs created and slide them in and take them out as you need. Now that you've seen the 5 seeds in action, let me walk you through the mistakes I see some DMs make when they try something like this. The first one, skipping seeds. It's tempting to fill in the wants and problems and call it done because those feel like the most important ones. Those are the ones that have some meat to them. But the seeds work together. Nose gives your players a reason to seek the NPC out. It is a little bit that may draw the players to that NPC. Owns gives them something to interact with physically, and we know how players love physical objects, whether it's loot or something an NPC owns. And secrets create that tension that lie underneath the surface. And it allows us, the DM, to really lean in to something about that character that the players don't know yet and may never know. When you skip seeds, you end up with an NPC who has motivation, but nothing for the players to actually grab onto. Now, the second mistake is opposite, and it is one that I am very, very much accused of, especially in my early career, and that's overfilling. You sit down to write a one sentence for this character, wants, for example, but suddenly you've written a paragraph about their childhood dreams and their political structure of the kingdom and their ambitions, and you've written a backstory. You just built a monument instead of planting a seed. One sentence means one sentence. If you can't stay within the one sentence, you're overcomplicating it. The third mistake is treating the seeds like they're permanent. The whole point of a seed is that it grows and branches off and changes. Clarissa wants a promotion to sergeant right now, but maybe after 3 sessions interacting with the players, her wants change. And that's fine. They can shift. The seeds are a starting point, not a contract. You're not stuck. Let them evolve as the story does. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Victor. Victor was a vampire tavern owner in one of my campaigns and one of my favorite NPCs. And when I created him, I did almost no prep, and he wasn't meant to last more than 1 session. He had a name, he had a location, and a vague sense of who he was, and that's it. And he became one of the most memorable NPCs I've ever run. My players kept coming back to his tavern. One of them wanted Victor to turn her into a vampire. They started building relationships with him. They got invested in his story, a story I had never written. Victor ended up lasting 13 sessions, not because I planned 13 sessions of content for him, but because I left space for the players to shape who he became. Every time they interacted with him, I listened to what they were interested in and let that kind of guide who Victor became, where he went to next. That's the real lesson behind the 5 seeds. You're not writing a finished character, you're planning starting points and letting your players water them. The NPCs that become legendary at your table aren't the ones you prepped the hardest for. They're the ones that you gave some room to breathe so the players could really help develop the character. And one thing I want to be clear on here. The 5 seeds method is not tied to any one game. This works whether you're running D&D 5e, Pathfinder 2e, Draw Steel, or literally anything else on your shelf. In D&D 5e, for example, your NPCs often show up in social encounters or as quest givers, and DMs tend to lean on alignment and personality traits to define them. The 5 seeds replaces that with something more actionable. Instead of writing neutral good, kind but cautious, which doesn't really give you much, you're giving the NPC a want instead, a problem, and a secret that the players can actually interact with during the session. Pathfinder 2e has a more structured world with some deep lore baked into the setting, so it's easy to feel like NPCs need to match that level of detail, and I have a lot of Pathfinder 2e books, and there is a lot of detail. But your NPCs don't. The 5 seeds give a Pathfinder NPC enough depth to feel like they belong in the world without requiring you to write a full entry in your setting Bible. And in Draw Steel, which is a game that I'm playing a couple of campaigns in right now, where the mechanics are built around collaborative storytelling, the 5 seeds fit naturally because the system already wants you to leave room for the narrative to develop at the table. Seeds and Draw Steel's design philosophy are working toward the same goal. Give the players enough to engage with and let the story build from there. No matter what system you're running, the 5 seeds works because they're about how players interact with the characters, and that doesn't change based on the rulebook you're using. Before we wrap up, I promised you something at the beginning of this video, and it's time to deliver on it. I've put together a fillable PDF template that walks you through the 5 seeds method for your own NPCs. It's the same framework that I use when I'm building my NPCs at my table. It includes wants, problems, knows, owns, secrets, laid out so you can fill it in and have a usable NPC ready for your next session. The link is in the description below. Download it, print it, keep it next to your DM screen. Use it however you want. Once you've used it a few times, the 5 seeds will become second nature, and you won't even need the template anymore. But until then, it's a pretty good solid starting point. If this was helpful, I'm going to ask that you hit the subscribe button and possibly the like. I love doing these videos, and I love listening to the feedback that my viewers give me. So if you have a comment, toss that down there too. We put out TTRPG content every week here on Roll for Perception. The next video is going to pick up where this one left off. We're going to talk about what happens after you plant those seeds. How do you grow your NPCs through actual play, and how do you listen to your players in a way that turns a throwaway character into the most memorable part of your campaign? You don't want to miss that one. I want to thank you for watching. I'm Terry with Roll for Perception, and we will see you next time.